Most people spend their entire lives chasing things that don't matter, only to realize the truth when it's too late. But the ancient Stoics didn't wait for old age to become wise. They mastered a specific way of speaking, not just to others, but to themselves. Today, we are going to explore 7 smart phrases that most people learn too late in life, and how you can use them today to reclaim your peace and power. The first phrase is one that cuts through the noise of the modern world like a blade. It is not my business. Have you ever felt exhausted by things you can't even change? We live in an age of information overload. We are told we must have an opinion on everything, from global politics and celebrity scandals to what our neighbor is doing with their life. We carry the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we wonder why we feel so heavy. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that the root of all misery is trying to control things that are not up to us. When you say, "It is not my business," you aren't being cold or indifferent. You are being disciplined. You are deciding that your mental energy is a sacred resource. Think of a time someone said something negative about you behind your back. You could spend days wondering why, trying to fix their perception, or feeling hurt. But their opinion is a result of their own filters, their own insecurities, and their own history. It is, quite literally, not your business. When you utter these words, you draw a circle around your soul and refuse to let the chaos outside enter. You realize that your only business is your own character and your own actions. The second phrase is a shift in perspective that turns every tragedy into a tool. I will use this. Most people, when faced with a setback, a breakup, a job loss, or a health scare, ask, "Why is this happening to me?" This question turns you into a victim. It suggests that the universe is conspiring against you. But the Stoic approaches life like an athlete. An athlete doesn't complain that the weights in the gym are heavy. They use the weight to grow stronger. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When you say, "I will use this," you change the chemistry of the situation. A difficult boss becomes a lesson in patience. A failure becomes a lesson in humility and strategy. Even grief can be used to deepen your appreciation for life. By using this phrase, you stop being a piece of wood tossed around by the waves and start being the fire that consumes everything thrown into it, turning it all into light in the heat. The third phrase is a shield against the ego. I am still a student. Have you ever noticed how the more someone thinks they know, the more miserable they become when reality proves them wrong? The ego wants to be the expert. It wants to be right. It wants to be seen as superior. But the moment you think you have arrived, you stop growing. You become rigid, and in a changing world, what is rigid eventually breaks. The Stoics practiced a profound form of intellectual humility. They knew that the world is vast and our understanding is small. By saying I am still a student, you release the pressure of having to be perfect. If someone criticizes you, you don't need to get defensive. Instead, you listen, because a student is always looking for the truth, even if it's wrapped in an insult. This phrase keeps your mind young and your spirit flexible. It allows you to learn from everyone you meet, even the people you don't like. The fourth phrase is a reminder of the fleeting nature of time. Is this necessary? Look at your daily routine. How much of what you do is truly essential? We fill our days with busy work, with scrolling, with overthinking, and with trying to impress people we don't even like. We are like people trying to fill a bucket with holes in it. We feel drained because we are leaking our life force into things that don't matter. Marcus Aurelius suggested that we should ask ourselves this question at every moment. If you stop doing the things that aren't necessary, you would have the time and energy to do the things that are. When you find yourself in a heated argument, ask, is this necessary? When you are about to buy something you don't need to impress people who don't care, ask, is this necessary? This phrase is the key to a simple, powerful, and focused life. But the Stoics had an even deeper insight, one that shifts the focus from what we do to how we perceive the very nature of time itself. We often think we have plenty of time to get around to being happy or to being the person we want to be. But what if that's the greatest illusion of all? This brings us to our fifth phrase, I don't have to have an opinion on this. This might sound similar to our first phrase, but it's more internal. We often feel an internal pressure to judge everything that happens to us. We label things as bad, unfair, or terrible. But the Stoics believe that events themselves are neutral. It is our judgment of them that causes us pain. Imagine you are stuck in traffic. You could judge this as bad and get angry. Or you could say, I don't have to have an opinion on this. It's just traffic. By refusing to label the event, you keep your inner peace. You realize that you have the power to remain indifferent to things that don't affect your character. You save your emotional energy for the things that truly deserve your judgment, your own intentions, and your own choices. The sixth phrase is a mastery of the present moment. This is enough. We live in a culture of more. More money, more followers, more status, more comfort. We are taught that happiness is always just one more achievement away. But this is a trap. If you aren't happy with what you have, you will never be happy with what you get. Seneca said that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. When you say this is enough, you are performing an act of rebellion. You are deciding that your worth is not tied to your possessions. You are finding the beauty in a simple meal, a quiet morning, or a deep conversation. This phrase allows you to stop running and start living. It transforms a life of scarcity into a life of abundance instantly. The seventh and final phrase is perhaps the most difficult to learn, and the one most people realize only on their deathbeds. I am mortal. In Latin, this is memento mori. Remember that you will die. To many, this sounds dark or depressing, but for a Stoic, it is the ultimate source of clarity. Most of our anxieties are built on the assumption that we will live forever. We put off our dreams, we hold on to grudges, and we waste time on trivialities because we think time is infinite. When you truly accept your mortality, your life becomes vivid. You stop caring about minor embarrassments. You stop waiting for the perfect time to tell someone you love them. You realize that this moment, right now, is a gift that you will never get back. Saying I am mortal isn't a celebration of death. It is a celebration of the urgency of life. It forces you to live with intention, with kindness, and with courage. Now, how do we apply these phrases in our everyday lives? It's one thing to hear them, it's another to live them. Start by choosing one phrase for the coming week. Perhaps it's, is this necessary? Every time you pick up your phone or start a new task, ask the question. Notice how much noise you can cut out of your life. When someone cuts you off in traffic or insults you, whisper to yourself, I don't have to have an opinion on this. Feel the power that comes from refusing to be provoked. When you feel overwhelmed by the state of the world, remind yourself, it is not my business. Focus on the small circle of influence you actually have, your family, your work, and your own mind. The Stoics didn't just write these things in books, they practiced them in the heat of battle, in the face of exile, and in the halls of power. These phrases are not just words, they are anchors. They keep you steady when the storms of life try to pull you under. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If your thoughts are filled with not my business, this is enough, and I will use this, your soul will be dyed with the colors of resilience, peace, and strength. If your thoughts are filled with why me, I need more, and what will they think, your soul will be dyed with the colors of anxiety and discontent. You are the painter of your own inner world. Choose your colors wisely. As we close this reflection, I want you to take a deep breath. Think about the one phrase that resonated with you the most today. Why did it stick? What part of your life is it calling you to change? Life is short, and it is far too precious to spend it in a state of mental chaos. You don't have to wait 20 years to become wise. You can choose to be wise right now. You can choose to use the language of the Stoics to build a fortress of peace within yourself that no external force can break. Before you go, I invite you to share in the comments which of these phrases you needed to hear the most today. Your words might be the exact reminder someone else needs to find their peace. If you found value in this journey, consider joining our community by subscribing. We explore the timeless wisdom of the past to help you navigate the challenges of the present. Until next time, remember, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Stay wise and stay resilient.